Borderlands franchise has a big problem. Only bold statements on this channel, I know. Have you ever noticed that there's a consistent theme that constantly rears its ugly head when it comes to the Borderlands and the story surrounding it? I'm not talking about Helena Pierce's ugly head, you know what I'm saying? The writing, or more specifically the writers, have seemingly been making massive mistakes when it comes to the direction that the story of Borderlands is going in. I mean, jumping from seeing the Watcher from the pre-sequel to the sand-filled sandwich that is Borderlands 3 is a bit of a confusing leap. It's like getting hit with a concussion and jumping off high-rise in Modern Warfare 2 type of confusing. It makes me think the worst about this story, and more specifically about Gearbox's biggest success, and one that could either lift Borderlands out of the grave, or as I predict, will make the hole deeper. This is why Handsome Jack will most likely return, and suck, in Borderlands 4. Number uno. He's only not appeared in the oldest and newest game in the franchise. Yes, if you just think about it now, right? He's only not appeared in the new Tales from the Borderlands and Borderlands 1. He has appeared in literally every other Borderlands game. Now, at the surface, a lot of people will be like, no, what? No, he doesn't. It's mad, because when I think of it on a surface level, I don't think of Borderlands 3 and sort of think Handsome Jack. But when I'm thinking of Handsome Jack, I'm thinking of, like, Borderlands 2, right? I'm not thinking of the pre-sequel. But he's also in the Borderlands 3 Handsome Jackpot DLC. So, he's in 2, he's in Borderlands pre-sequel, and he's in 3. He's only not in Borderlands 1 and New Tales. So they've used him a lot. They have used him a lot. He's even in the original Tales from the Borderlands, which is something I'll get onto later. It's one of my points that I'll be getting onto later. He's even in the Telltale spin-off game for Borderlands. That's how successful this guy is in the Borderlands franchise. Number die. They haven't really had any other good villains in the franchise, apart from Vasquez, leading them to grasp at the one villain who everyone loved and milk him the fuck dry. That's another thing. The fact he's been in so many of the games, man. Oh my days. Fucking write something else, you know what I mean? The way they've used him almost tells me they don't have anything else to work with. The pre-sequel was fine, right? The pre-sequel is its own little bubble, because it's a good story and it's about the origins of Handsome Jack, right? It all makes sense. Whilst, yes, they sort of went into that zone of, yeah, we can just keep using Jack. It wasn't too over the top at that point, you know what I mean? Like, it made sense. In his own convoluted little tiny bubble, Borderlands 2, Borderlands pre-sequel, Borderlands 1, Jack's story makes sense. It's when you go into, like, the you know, the Tales from the Borderlands, where he didn't really need to appear, and then Borderlands 3, where he also really didn't need to appear. Like, it was okay to see Timothy, right? It was okay to see the doppelganger back again, okay? But it's one of them things where you kind of go, do we really need that? I mean, it's good, it's okay, it's a bit of fan service, but do we really need it? And then Vasquez, once again, written by Telltale, not Gearbox. Maybe assisted by Gearbox, but all in all, he's the only other really good villain, in my opinion, and he is not written by the people who write the games, right? So, you know, you see where I'm going right? Number 3. The general trend of Borderlands characters seems to be going on a downhill spiral. I mean, look at all the Borderlands 2 playable characters apart from Krieg, and most of the NPCs that we know and love. They've been turned into fucking mushy caricatures of that once we knew them as. Once again, without Krieg. I think Krieg as a character is hard to kind of fuck up in a way. I feel like if you go on the Mr. Torg route, where they've gone on the Mr. Torg route, if you know what I mean, with the new Mr. Torg, he's kind of just been, once again, mushed down into a caricature of the characters we once knew them as. He is now just that guy who is loud and makes middly mow guitar riff solos.
I will now reward your badassery with this sick mouth guitar solo!
Now, on a base level, a lot of people might be thinking, well, that's what Mr. Torg was for. And if you think that, you're kind of the problem, because mushy caricatures is what most people will just, like, presume they are if they just go in their head. What? When Mr. Torg, loud, okay, loud, and he does guitar solos, right, we'll just do that. Tiny Tina, she likes blowing things up, she speaks a bit crazy, she's really loud, she always talks. Okay, that'll just be her personality from now, right? Apart from Krieg, that is literally what every single character that I can really think of that I did like and had quite a deep sort of backstory has turned into. Krieg is good. I think the DLC from Krieg was actually really, really nice. It sort of reminds me of the Claptastic Voids DLC, which is always a good thing to have. Also, I feel like Sir Hammerlock, in a way, sort of had a very good expansion in Borderlands 3 with his DLC. It's not great, but it's better than it was in Borderlands 2. I feel like in Borderlands 2, his DLC didn't really expand on his character so much. It was more about hunting, it was more about handsome Jack again. Sir Hammerlock's DLC was more about handsome fucking Jack than Sir Hammerlock. If he comes back, I just don't want Jack to be a mushed down caricature version of what he is. You know, I don't want him to be a really 2D version of the one that we think we're gonna get. Number 4. Any new characters that are introduced are, for the most part, horrible and difficult to take seriously. The one new character that I actually genuinely, unironically liked was Balex. And that's only because Ice-T kicked Major Allen ass. I feel like this is another one where it's a very heavy opinion, but this is kind of why I make these videos, right? It's not to state just pure facts. It's to bring my opinion into it, to see what other people think, right? I want to know what other people think. I want for the people to know what I think. And I think that most characters that have been introduced in the newest games just aren't that good. I just don't find myself really going, yeah, that new, yeah, Lorelei, woo, Lorelei, really? And even now, I'm trying to think of that, the guy you meet on Eden 6, right? The Western guy that you meet in the town. I don't even remember the name of the town. What's his name? I can't remember. I remember Balex though, because Balex is cool. I remember Ava, because Ava is the opposite of cool. But other than that, they're just kind of not memorable. I feel like that kind of gets run down to the fact that Borderlands 3 tried to be so big and expansive on so many different planets, so you only had a certain amount of time with each character. And it's not okay, but I kind of understand why you had so much time with each character compared to previous Borderlands games. But if you're gonna do that, you either need to introduce less characters or just have less worlds, man. So once again, if they introduce Jack again, will they do that? Because what they are already working with, the old characters, they're already fucking up the old characters, right? And we already have an established backstory of them. When they're having to introduce new characters, where they have to make them from scratch, they're not doing very well in my opinion. So if you fuck up new characters and you fuck them up a lot, and you're fucking up old characters that we already like, that's going to be a problem for me. And finally, at number 5, the original, aka good, Tales from the Borderlands already hinted at the possibility that Rhys already has maintained Jack's consciousness inside of his brain on his little chip thing. Considering, you know, if you chose that ending, of course. Meaning, at any point, Gearbox could just decide to go, fuck it! Reach down to the depths of fucking hell and make that whole storyline a thing again from bumfuck nowhere. Once again, it's sort of like a retcon, right? In Borderlands 3, did you ever hear Rhys mention Jack once? No. Did you ever hear anyone mention anything about Rhys's implant that has Jack in him? No. Did anyone know about it? I don't think so either. But did they just get rid of that entire storyline? Yeah. Will we ever hear about it again? I don't know. But I feel like if they introduce Jack again, they could just do that out of nowhere and just go, oh yeah, this happened. Boom. Insert story without any subtlety whatsoever. And they'll just either expect you to remember or go, nah, we covered it in Tales from the Borderlands. You know that game that came out like a decade ago? Yeah, no, it was there. You know, I know we haven't hinted at it since, even though we've had the character again twice. But he said it. He was there. You know, we had it. So boom, you know, like, there it is. It's kind of one of them things. If they introduce him again, I feel like that will be one of the ways that they could do it. And if they do it like that, you can just tell that is a grasp. That is a lazy grasp. Because if they really, right, think about it. If they really wanted to have Jack back, they would have hinted at it in Borderlands 3. They would have hinted at it in New Tales from the Borderlands. Rhys would have had something going on. You know, he's the CEO of a massive company. Do you not think that would have made a really cool twist in Borderlands 3 for them to do that? Maybe, you know, that would have been a bad thing because I didn't really want Jack again in charge of a massive corporation. But it feels like that was where it should have gone if Rhys is in charge of this massive company and he's got all this backing behind him, and he's still got Jack inside him. They haven't confirmed whether he doesn't or does as well. That's another thing. If they said, right, he doesn't, that's that storyline completely cut off. It's the fact that they haven't that just really takes me out of it and kind of makes me go, yeah, if they do that, that's just lazy. So yeah, Handsome Jack. He's a big problem for the Borderlands franchise right now, in my opinion. But also, he was the guy that got a lot of people into Borderlands 2 in the first place.
Hey, how these pretzels suck. How's your day been, buddy?
And he's one of the most memorable video game villains of all time, I want to say. Like, he is really up there, you know? There's not many other villains that you can really think, wow, that guy's really cool, but I also want to kill him at the same time, you know? It's hard to kind of pull that off in a way, and they did it really well. But it's also like biting the hand that feeds you. It's their biggest success, right? But the longer that you keep milking it over and over again, it's just gonna deprive people of something new, and it's just gonna make them leave, you know? Like, they're just gonna want something like, okay, Jack again, okay, Jack again, okay, we get it, Jack was a good thing, but no. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure to do the old subscribe thing and all that BS. I was about to say favorite, but that's from like 12 years ago. Check out my other videos, do all that, you know how YouTube works, and I will see you in the next video, guys.